counsel present, jury, and alternates are present. Mr. Baker is under oath. Ms. Silverman, you may continue.
Thank you. When did you download WhatsApp relative to the date of the murder? We talked about that you deleted Viber on the day of the murder, before the murder. But when did you download WhatsApp onto your phone?
I believe I already had it, but I'm not sure.
So let's say you didn't have it. Then when do you think you downloaded?
I really think I had it already. I really think I had it already.
Could it have been the night of the murder at about 11:40?
I guess. I don't know. I really don't know.
When was the first time you remember you and the defendant communicating using WhatsApp, the second encrypted app?
I'm thinking maybe I really don't know. It's been a long time ago. I'm thinking we may have used it even before this thing happened, and then after that, weeks later is when I contacted her. But I don't know if I used WhatsApp to do it. I'm not sure.
Let's say I told you that you guys did not ever use WhatsApp until after the murder.
Okay. All right.
Does that help you?
Not really. Honestly, I really don't know. It's been too long ago.
I'm going to show you your messages with Mr. Spence that you asked to see.
Okay.
Remember this?
Sounds like my verbiage.
From your phone.
Yep.
Right? You see Rob Baker.
Yeah.
November 3rd of 2016.
Okay.
You're messaging him about the defendant, right?
Yeah. Do I list her by name by chance?
Bless you. And then, do you see here, on the second page, where Spence asks you on November 3rd, y'all living together, and you said a year. You're answering a prior question where he asked you, at the bottom of page 1, how long you've been together.
Gotcha.
This is November, again, of 2016.
Okay.
You said a year, and then you said probably start living together in about 3 months. So you gave a very specific timeline, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I see it.
And this would be before the murder of Fabio, right?
Yes, it's according to the date.
Mm-hmm. But you're already telling Spence that you're going to be living together the beginning of February, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about her daughters that are going to be going to school, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, you're going to be sort of free and clear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I see it.
And then on the last page, you said, now when I move into that spot, this place where you're moving in together, and then, or she moved in with me, and you always got a place to stay if I have room for sure, right?
Yeah.
And then Ron Ray, this is Exhibit 206. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't know if I said, but the messages with Spence are in Curtis Davis's PowerPoint on Exhibit 158. And this was pages 23 to 25.
Thank you.
Moving on to Exhibit 206. Again, messages with Ron Ray from November 12th of 2016. You recognize this?
Where's this from?
Again, do you recognize this?
No, I don't. Hang on.
You see this where it says Rob Baker?
Yeah, I do.
And it says, I've been with my girl for a year now.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
And then on the next page, page 2 of People's 206, he asks you, are you living with her? This is again November 12th of 2016.
Okay.
Remember that?
No, but I took your word for it.
And then he asked you to send a picture, right?
I don't remember.
Pic. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
I think what he meant is send me a pic, but he said she me a pic, and then you send this. Right?
Yeah,
That's an LA Fitness.
it is.
Okay. And then on the next page, in response to Ron's question, not living with her. Not yet. Right?
Yes.
So again, you told your friends, Micah Spence and Ron Ray, that you and the defendant were going to be living together soon, right?
Yes.
So at that point in time, you and the defendant in November of 2016, before the murder of Fabio Sementilli, you and the defendant were already making plans to live together, correct?
Just me.
Just you. So how were you able to tell Spence that it was probably going to happen in 3 months?
That's argument.
Overruled.
Even if I did accomplish this thing in January, there's no way we can get together and do this in 3 months. It's just bravado. That's just bravado guy talk. That's all that was.
Again, from 158, Officer Davis's PowerPoint. Recognize this number down here, 21327. Okay. And you had a few different Samsungs, right?
Yes.
You had an S4.
What is that?
A Samsung
Yeah.
S4.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
You had a Samsung S6.
Yes.
You had a Samsung S8.
Yes.
And Al Birdsong gave you one of his Samsungs,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
That you had in your phone as Al, right?
Okay.
That you took and used, right?
Okay, yes.
That's a 702 number. I believe it ends in 2325.
I don't remember the number, but I remember the phone.
I remember it. So does that sound like the number to you?
Argument.
Yes.
Sustained.
Looking at this document here, which is page 61 of Officer Davis's PowerPoint, do you see what's shown here?
It says WhatsApp registration after murder.
Yeah. You see that?
I do.
See the date?
23rd.
Yeah, you're a military guy. What time is that?
It's 11:40. 11:40 in the night. On the 20. Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it.
So that's the night of the murder, 11:40 at night. You registered for WhatsApp.
I remember. I see that. I didn't even know that.
So is that just a coincidence that You and Monica deleted Viber from your cell phones prior to the murder or on January 23rd, and then that night, 11:40, you registered for WhatsApp?
Just in case she might text me.
So it's just a coincidence.
No, you're just going to text me because I know she used WhatsApp a lot. I knew that she used that a lot.
Well, let me show you something else. What if I were to tell you that Monica didn't register for WhatsApp until January 27th?
I swore she used that app a lot more. Long time ago. I don't remember. I'm telling you, I don't remember. But I know she used it an awful lot, WhatsApp, because she was telling me about using it from Canada with her family.
This is page 62 from Officer Davis's PowerPoint that's contained on the flash drive that we've marked as Exhibit 158. You recognize this phone number here at the bottom that ends in 4213?
I can barely remember it, but it's familiar. It's familiar.
Whose phone number is that?
I'm assuming it's hers. I'm only
Who?
assuming. Monica's.
Right. Remember that?
I'm assuming it is, yeah.
You're assuming.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand anymore.
Well, let's assume you're correct. Do you see here the registration?
I do.
And what does it show?
8 in the morning on the 27th.
Now, you told Mr. Levine yesterday that you and Monica talked about her getting a divorce. Remember that?
Yes.
And you said you could tell she wouldn't.
Yeah, it's just my everything that I read says it wasn't going to happen.
Because you have really good instincts, right?
It's this thing.
You told us you're really smart, right?
Most of the time.
And so you had conversations with her about it.
We had a few.
Okay. And you could tell, based on your intuition or whatever you want to call it, that she wasn't going to get a divorce.
That was my feeling.
Okay. And you also talked about her family and why she couldn't get a divorce, right?
You mean we or me?
The two of you.
We touched upon it, yeah.
And you talked about the fact that her family loved Fabio, right?
Yep.
And that her family would never accept you.
That she did say.
Okay. And that you had been introduced to her mother, right?
Yes.
And you had been introduced to her sister.
Yes.
When was the first time you think you were introduced to her sister?
I believe it was on a racquetball court in LA Fitness.
When?
I don't know the dates.
Do you remember today, this morning, when Mr. Levine asked you if something happened during the holidays of 2016 that led you to make a final determination that you were going to murder Fabio Sementilli?
Yes.
Do you remember saying that it was cemented in your head at that point in time that you were alone for several weeks during the holidays and into the new year?
Oh, I was without her, yes.
And so you didn't see her at all for several weeks. And that upset you.
Long story short, yes.
Okay.
Sporadic.
Would it be correct that because there were so many weeks during that holiday season that you didn't see Monica and that upset you, that you decided that you had had enough, that you wanted her for yourself?
That and a little bit more.
What else?
Well, I kind of like wasn't. I always worried about him a little bit because I just I just didn't want him showing up at my door one day because I heard he was kind of possessive. So that was a second reason. That may be an issue. And he was a kind of a connected guy, and well known and well liked. I just didn't want him showing up one day at and who knows. So that was another issue that I had.
Well, he had never been convicted of any kind of crimes,
No,
right?
No, not that I know of. No.
I mean, we're talking about a guy. I'm sure Monica told you that was beloved by everyone that met him.
I didn't know too much about him.
Really?
No, I really didn't know that much
Didn't you
about him.
tell law enforcement when you were arrested on this case, Detective Gable, Detective Tellis, that Fabio was a famous guy, and you wouldn't have done anything to get in the way of that?
That was after this happened. I found out how famous he was after it happened. I didn't
Oh, I
know
see.
beforehand.
So before,
Your Honor, objection to comment.
Comment I see. Overruled.
during the entire year that you and Monica were engaged in this very, can I use the word obsessive? Would that be a fair word?
No,
No?
no.
So, would it be true that the two of you would regularly send pictures of each other
Yeah,
to one another?
yeah,
Okay. Used, as we talked about, an encrypted app where you communicated, as you're aware, thousands and thousands of times back and forth.
I don't know about the count. I don't know about the
Really?
count.
Do you remember in Van Nuys, when you were initially arrested on this case, appearing in court on a couple of occasions in Van Nuys before you were indicted and the case was sent downtown?
I remember being in Van Nuys many times because of this case.
Okay. And do you remember Mr. Levine in any of those overhears that were played for you, where you and Monica talked about the number of communications between the two of you with respect to what are referred to as overt acts in the charging document in this case regarding the conspiracy count?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's 255, page 2, Cyray's chart, showing the communications between October of 2015 and June 14th, the day of the arrest. 16,462 communications between you and the defendant.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a huge number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You sent her over 11,000 text messages. See that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
The defendant sent you 4,800 messages. See that?
Yes.
Called you 400 times. See that?
I do.
See the total of messages between the two of you?
Yeah, I do.
Almost 16,000 messages and 577 calls.
Yeah, that's a large number.
So would it be safe to say, when I use the word obsessive, that that would be a fair characterization?
I guess to the normal person it would, but to me it felt normal. Felt good.
So you're saying that you were worried about Fabio because he was possessive. That's what you thought, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted Monica to yourself, so you murdered her husband.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but yeah.
Okay. And yet, based on what we're looking at here, you also knew that even if you killed Fabio, she still was going to have 2 kids, right?
True.
Were you planning on getting rid of them as well?
No.
So you knew then that her time would still, to some degree, be taken up with her kids, right?
Yes, yes.
So that wouldn't solve your problem, right?
It would solve the problem because it was a little more to it.
Well, she told you that her family was never going to accept you, right?
True that, very true.
Yet, when you asked her to marry you, she said yes. Right?
Yes.
Family be damned. Right?
Yeah.
And didn't you tell your cellmate when you were arrested, as well as Paula McCullum, that you got to see the defendant pretty much whenever you wanted to?
My cellmate. I don't
Didn't
remember.
you say that? That it really wasn't an issue because you got to see Monica whenever you wanted.
My roommate, you mean?
In your cell when you were arrested on June 14th. Remember telling Monica that you knew at some point after that your cellmate was probably an undercover? Remember that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. All right, I'm just trying to make sure I'm
Do you
trying to
remember
keep up with you.
telling people that you saw plenty of Monica?
Yeah, yeah.
And during the holidays, you said you didn't see her for several weeks, 2016 into 2017.
No, I said it was sporadic.
No, I think you told us that it cemented the idea to murder Fabio during the holiday season of 2016 through New Year's because she was with her family, and so you didn't get to see her at all for several weeks. Remember that?
It was because she was with him for a period of time, and I didn't see her a lot.
Okay. Oh, so now you just didn't see her a lot, but you did see her some then during the holidays.
I don't know how. It's been a long time, but I know why my head was the way it was because I didn't see her. I do know that. I just don't have a count.
What if I were to tell you that her sister told the jury yesterday that she and Monica and all the kids came to LA Fitness? They saw you. In fact, they played racquetball with you.
That's different.
Several days in a row.
That's different.
Okay. So you did see Monica during the holidays, right?
I'm assuming so. If she says that's what happened, then that's what happened.
And you were in constant communication with her over the holidays, right?
Yes.
And when Monica left after you murdered Fabio to go to Toronto for the various funeral services, the cremation, the church services, during that time period while she was in Toronto, you were still in communication with her, weren't you?
I believe so.
In fact, during that week, February 3rd through February 6th, isn't it true that she sent you numerous photographs of herself?
I don't know.
So if I were to tell you that she sent you numerous photographs of herself while she was masturbating and posing naked, showing off her private parts, and that she sent these to you during that week, does that refresh your recollection?
Not really.
But it wouldn't be unusual, right?
For her to send pictures?
Yeah.
No.
Even when she's burying or allegedly burying.
I don't know about the dates, so I'm just going to go by your word.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
But that for you wouldn't have been unusual
For her to send pictures, no.
during that period of time.
It's her sending pictures, no.
Those kinds of pictures, sir.
Any kind of pictures.
So you don't think there's a distinction between a time when you're allegedly grieving and time when you're trying to be flirty or sexy or whatever you want to think.
I'm trying to figure out the question in here somewhere.
Call for an opinion irrelevant.
On those bases, it's overruled.
You don't think there's a difference? You don't think when someone's grieving, the last thing on their mind is sticking their finger in their vagina while they're...
Argument in this.
It's this thing.
Did she send you photographs of her penetrating herself with her wedding ring on her finger while she was in Toronto?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know because I'm not looking at the pictures and I'm not looking at the date, so I can't tell you. I don't have a photographic memory like that.
All right, well, let me tell you, these people all heard about that yesterday.
Okay.
Objection, that's argumentative.
Sustained.
So if I were to tell you that that evidence was presented yesterday and this jury heard about that yesterday, we'll assume it's true for the sake of my question, okay? Do you think that that would have been something that you would expect was normal in your relationship with the defendant?
Everybody agrees differently.
Sure. Okay. Now, didn't Monica also tell you that her friends also would never accept you?
She did.
Okay. And did that include the woman that you referred to as Busybody Debbie?
Never met her, but I heard about her.
Oh, you did meet her, though.
I don't remember her.
So, after the murder, on the date of January 29th, so 6 days after the murder, do you remember going up to Victorville?
I remember going probably through Victorville.
Do you remember going to a T-Mobile store in Victorville?
Yes, I do.
And what was the purpose on January 29th of going to Victorville?
To stop in, get some food, and pick up phones.
What kind of phones?
Cell phones.
How many?
2 or 3.
For what purpose?
To keep and communicate with whoever I needed to talk to.
Okay. And so when you told us that you would always have an extra phone, would you agree that those are burner phones?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you went and bought these 2 or 3 phones up in Victorville, did you register those phones under your name?
No, it's a burner phone.
So what does that mean?
It means it's not in my name. It's just a made-up person.
So you made up a person.
Yes.
And so what name did you register these 2 or 3 phones under?
I don't remember. I just picked a name.
Like what? Give us an idea.
John Smith.
How about Daniel Jones?
Like I said, I don't remember. I told you that.
Okay. Does that sound familiar?
Probably.
And when you get a burner phone, what's the point?
To have a phone where if anybody's looking at you, they can't find you, they can't trace you.
And what did you do with those phones?
I planned on using them.
To communicate with who?
Anybody who I wanted to stay away from this whole thing with. Because I figured they're going to be listening on my phone eventually, so I'm going to use this phone to stay offline.
Well, there were more than one, you just said.
Yes.
So you're going to use multiple phones.
Yes.
And how are you going to communicate with Monica after the murder?
Oh, after the murder? Well,
We're talking about January 29th when you went up to Victorville and you bought more than one burner phone.
just in case I opened up some type of communication with her, if I can even communicate with her, I just wanted an extra phone just in case so I can talk to her. If she's even able to talk to me.
So what do you mean?
I don't know. What do you mean? What do I mean?
Well, did you give one of those phones to her?
Eventually.
How about that night?
I don't know. I'm telling you, this is 8 years ago. I don't remember all this stuff. You have all the info in front of you. I don't know.
So you went up to Victorville, as we said, on January 29th, and you purchased some burner phones under fake names, correct?
Yes.
And then later, did you come back to the Los Angeles area that night?
I think so.
Okay. And do you remember where you went?
No.
You remember going to the wake after the funeral service at Monica's house?
Was it that same day? I don't know. I remember going to some kind of get together for the family.
And you were the only one there that wasn't family or close friends of Fabio, right?
No, there was other people who came with me.
Who?
Well, Ricky, I said this before.
Yeah, that was a different night, sir.
Really? I don't remember going to that house that day. I only went there once.
Okay. You remember going one evening after racquetball, coming to the gym, saying that you weren't working there anymore, and then you and Matt were going over and you tried to get Sheila and Ricky to go with you over to the house?
That's the same day.
Yeah, what if I told you it wasn't?
That means my memory.
Sustained.
That means my memory is really gone, because I really thought it was the same day.
Okay. So the night that you came back from Victorville, do you remember going to the memorial get-together at the Sementilli home?
That's the same day, right? That's the one I'm thinking was. It's got to be the same day.
Okay, let's say it wasn't. Do you remember going to the memorial at the Sementilli home?
I remember going to something where there was a gathering of the family.
Family,
I remember that.
Friends of Fabio.
Yes.
And you weren't either.
Say that one more time.
You were not either.
Well, that's argument.
Sustained.
You weren't friends with Fabio.
Oh, no.
You weren't family.
No.
Okay. And that night, did Monica's mom tell you you should leave?
She did after a while, but I wasn't alone on that.
Showing you People's 46. You recall this night?
That's the same night we've been talking about. Yeah, that's the same night we've been talking about. That one to the house.
See the bandage on your left index finger?
I do.
That was related to the murder, right?
That was related to the hit and the murder.
The murder.
The hit and the murder. The racquetball hit and the murder.
And the
Same
murder?
Huh?
And the murder, you said?
I'm sorry? It's overruled. It's overruled.
Yes.
The knife that you used. What kind of knife did you use to stab Fabio Sementilli in the neck?
It was some kind of hunting knife.
Some kind.
Some
Like what?
kind. I don't know the name of it.
How long was the blade?
Maybe 8 inches, maybe.
An 8-inch blade, bless you. Yes?
I'm guessing. I didn't measure it.
Well, you were in the military. You can approximate, right? You know the difference between various types of knives, right?
Sometimes.
It's overruled on all.
I didn't measure it, so I don't know. But it was kind of a big knife.
Okay. Big knife.
Kind of, yeah.
Folding knife?
No.
Fixed blade.
Yes.
Hilt?
Yes.
If there was a hilt, you wouldn't have cut yourself, right?
Objection calls for conclusion speculation.
It's overruled.
What's the point of that? Having a hilt on a knife?
For me,
Yeah.
to keep you from getting cut
Right.
and to get a better grip.
Right. Because
Okay.
your hand won't slide when it gets bloody and slippery, right?
Yes.
This knife didn't have a hilt, right?
Which knife?
The
one
knife
with-
you used to murder Fabio Sementilli.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different knife now.
What other knife would we talk about, sir?
I don't know.
We're here to talk about what you did.
Yeah, I'm
right?
trying to help. I'm trying to get to the end of this thing. So yeah, let's continue this on. Let's continue. So I don't remember if it had a hilt or not. I just remember it was a bigger knife. I didn't study it.
Showing you People's 45. You recognize this?
I recognize me and her.
Sitting together,
Yeah.
right next to where Fabio was slaughtered.
Okay, I'm listening.
Is that right?
I see myself and Monica.
Is that the same area?
It's this patio. It's the same patio.
Is it actually sitting right next to where you slaughtered Fabio Sementilli?
Where I killed him, yes.
That night, when you came back from Victorville, did you give Monica one of the 2 burner phones?
No,
You did not.
I did not.
Okay. When did you see her next after January 29th?
It was later, way later.
How much later?
I don't remember. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't know. It was some time.
Weeks.
I'm guessing. It felt like weeks. Felt like weeks.
Showing you People's 218. You recognize what you see here? First page.
Looks like an account information.
January 29th,
Yeah.
the name Daniel Jones,
Okay.
a ZTE flip phone.
Okay.
You remember purchasing a ZTE flip phone as one of the burner phones?
It's a flip phone. I don't remember this model.
I'm sorry?
I said it was a flip phone. I don't remember the model. I don't remember all these details. Because you got all this information in front of you. I don't.
Well, you asked for it because you said if you saw it, you might be able to remember, so I'm showing it to you.
Okay.
So showing you now People's 150. Do you see the ZTE flip phone?
I see a phone, a flip phone.
Yeah. Is that the one you purchased?
I don't know. I'm assuming it is, but I don't know if it's that one.
Do you recall giving this name and this fake address, Panama City, California?
I probably did. I just don't remember the information, but I probably did.
Showing you the second page. On that same date of January 29th, a second phone, same address, same fake name, this time an LG stylus phone. Is that the other phone you purchased?
Probably.
If I were to tell you this is a photograph, page 3 of People's 218 of the LG stylus, does that look familiar to you?
It could have been the same one. I mean, it could have been the same style of phone. Probably was.
But you're saying you didn't give Monica the phone, the ZTE flip phone that we see here in People's 150, right?
Correct.
So do you know how she was able to get it to take with her to Canada 2 days later?
Was it 2 days later? It can't be that soon.
So I know you said you couldn't remember, it's fair. It's been a lot of years. You wanted to see photos, you wanted to see documents. I've shown you photos, I've shown you documents. Does this refresh your recollection that you went to the wake that night in order to give the defendant this burner phone?
No, I didn't give her anything
Okay.
that day.
So
I know
how did
that for
she
sure.
get it to take with her to Canada 2 days later? Because you said you didn't see her after
It
this
didn't.
night for weeks and weeks.
Something's wrong here.
Yep.
Something's wrong. No, at the wake or whatever that was, I didn't give her anything. And I remember leaving to go back to Vegas for a while, but I didn't leave a phone.
You said you bought it for her though, right? You said you bought a burner phone, an extra burner
Well,
phone. so you
I
could
bought it
communicate with her.
intending to giving it to her eventually somehow, but it wasn't. I cannot remember. I really can't remember. I really can't remember. I really can't remember.
Okay. You recognize this phone though, right?
I reckon. I know I got a phone. I don't know if it's that phone or not, but I know I did get a phone.
And then you recall when you and Monica were in custody talking to each other about the ZTE flip phone. Remember that?
No, I don't. I don't remember.
You don't remember talking and trying to get your story straight as to her saying that she happened to find this phone in her garage
I don't remember.
just before she went to Toronto in June of 2017, which would have been,
There's a question in there somewhere. I'm just waiting for it.
I'm counting in my head and I'm bad at math. I only do statistics. 4.5 months later.
As far as the conversations, I don't remember the conversations. I don't.
Well, if we heard you on tape last week talking about the ZTE or the flip phone, and her telling the police that she found it in the garage. Does that refresh your recollection at all?
No, it really doesn't.
All right.
Council, let me interrupt you. We'll take our adjournment this time for the weekend. We'll next meeting session Monday at 9 a.m. The admonition applies as always. Today's Pie Day, whether it's banana, chocolate, or sausage and pepperoni. Have a good Pie Day.